He built a billion-dollar reality TV empire. Now it's crumbling around him. From cocaine accusations to harassment claims, Andy Cohen faces a legal nightmare that could end his career. Even NBC is questioning whether they gave one man too much power. Here's how lawsuits are destroying Bravo's king. February 27, 2024, a 109-page lawsuit landed like a bomb in Manhattan federal court. Former Real Housewives of New York star Leah McSweeney sued Andy Cohen, Bravo, and NBC Universal for creating what she called a rotted workplace culture that thrives on drugs and alcohol abuse. But Leah didn't just claim the shows encouraged drinking. She made an explosive allegation that sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. According to her lawsuit, Andy Cohen regularly uses cocaine with housewives and gives favorable treatment and better edits to the cast members who use drugs with him. Think about that accusation. The executive producer of the biggest reality TV franchise in history was being publicly accused of doing illegal drugs with his employees and then rewarding them with better screen time. This wasn't some random gossip blog rumor. This was filed in federal court with Leah's name attached. Andy's response was swift and aggressive. His powerhouse attorney, Orrin Snyder, sent a letter calling Leah's claims false, offensive, and defamatory. The letter demanded she immediately retract all allegations about cocaine use or face legal consequences. It stated clearly that Andy never used cocaine with any cast member or Bravo employee. But the damage was done. The allegation was out there in public court documents. News outlets everywhere ran with the story. Suddenly, America's favorite reality TV host was defending himself against drug accusations. His squeaky clean image as the fun guy who asks awkward questions on Watch What Happens Live was shattered. Leah also accused producers of deliberately planning scenarios to trigger her alcohol disorder. She claimed they knew about her sobriety struggles and mental health issues, but purposely put her in situations designed to make her relapse. According to her lawsuit, they used guerrilla-type psychological warfare to pressure her into drinking for better television. The suit painted a disturbing picture of how Bravo operates behind the scenes. Leah alleged that cast members are deprived of food and sleep while being plied with endless alcohol. She said producers manufacture mental instability on purpose because breakdowns make good TV. She claimed that when she tried to stay sober, she faced discrimination and retaliation. In May 2024, Andy filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit, arguing that Leah's claims were threadbare and violated Bravo's First Amendment rights to create the show they wanted. But in March 2025, a judge delivered a devastating blow to Andy and Bravo. Judge Louis Lyman ruled that Leah could proceed with major parts of her case. The judge dismissed some claims but allowed Leah to continue with her disability discrimination claim, hostile work environment claim, and reasonable accommodation claim. In a 100-page ruling, the judge acknowledged that while Bravo had the right to make a show about drinking, they still had to treat Leah's addiction issues properly as an employer. This ruling was huge. It meant that a federal judge believed Leah had enough evidence to take this to trial. Andy couldn't make it go away with legal motions. The case was moving forward, and discovery would reveal internal Bravo communications and production practices that the network desperately wanted to keep private. Then in May 2025, Leah added another shocking claim. She accused Andy of orchestrating a coordinated attack against her in the media. She named over 20 Bravo stars, including Luann de Lesseps, Kyle Richards, Melissa Gorga, Lisa Vanderpump, and others who she claimed made public statements defending Andy at his direction. Leah's lawyers argued these housewives wouldn't have spoken out unless Andy told them to or induced them somehow. She was essentially accusing Andy of using his army of Bravo stars as weapons to destroy her credibility. If true, this showed how much power Andy wielded over the entire franchise and how he used that power to protect himself. Just days before Leah's lawsuit dropped, another former housewife came forward with disturbing allegations. Brandi Glanville's attorneys sent a legal letter in February 2024 accusing Andy Cohen of harassment. According to the letter, Andy sent Brandi a video in 2022 where he talked about wanting to sleep with another Bravo star. The letter claimed Andy appeared intoxicated in the video and invited Brandi to watch him have via FaceTime. Brandi's lawyers characterized this as an extraordinary abuse of power that left her feeling trapped and disgusted. The letter emphasized that Andy was Brandi's boss and had complete control over her career. They compared it to the Matt Lauer scandal at NBC News, suggesting that just like with Lauer, the network was prioritizing profits over people by keeping Andy in his position despite his behavior. Andy's initial response tried to downplay the incident. He posted on social media that the video showed him and Below Deck star Kate Chastain very clearly joking with Brandi. He said it was absolutely meant in jest, and that Brandi's response showed she was in on the joke. But then Andy did something revealing. He admitted it was totally inappropriate and apologized. Think about that. If it really was just an innocent joke between friends, why apologize? Why admit it was inappropriate? The apology suggested there was truth to Brandi's claim that the video crossed professional boundaries. Brandi's attorneys weren't satisfied with a simple apology. They demanded to know why Andy was getting a pass when any other supervisor at Comcast or NBC who engaged in this behavior would be fired immediately. They argued that NBC had mistakenly given Andy too much power across their network and that he needed to be held accountable, not protected. In May 2024, after an outside investigation, Bravo announced that the claims against Andy were found to be unsubstantiated. Andy's charges were dropped. But Brandi maintained her position and her lawyers continued to fight. The question lingered, why would Brandi risk her reputation and legal fees to make false accusations against someone who controlled her career opportunities? The Morocco situation became one of the most complicated and damaging lawsuits in Bravo history. In January 2023, Caroline Manzo and Brandi Glanville were filming Real Housewives' Ultimate Girls Trip in Morocco when something went terribly wrong. According to reports, Brandi was sent home early after allegedly kissing Caroline multiple times without her consent. An insider told People magazine that the incident was unwanted, and Caroline's distress didn't stop Brandi from continuing. The season was filmed but never aired, costing the network millions. Almost a year later, in January 2024, Caroline filed an explosive lawsuit. She sued Bravo, NBC Universal, Shed Media, Warner Brothers, and Peacock for harassment, assault, and creating an unsafe work environment. But Caroline didn't sue Brandi directly. She sued the companies for allowing and encouraging what happened. Caroline's lawsuit contained graphic and disturbing details. She alleged that while at a local chef's home, Brandi made crude comments about vegetables looking like penises. When Caroline reprimanded her for making American women look bad, Brandi allegedly yelled, "Shut up! This is my vacation, I'll do what the I want!" Later that evening at the villa, the lawsuit claims Brandi became increasingly aggressive. According to Caroline, Brandi laid her head on Caroline's inner thigh, spread her legs, and began touching her inappropriately. When Caroline tried to pull away, Brandi allegedly mounted her on the couch, forcibly kissed her, and groped her breasts and vagina, while producers watched and kept filming. The most disturbing allegation involved a bathroom incident. Caroline claimed she tried to escape to the bathroom, but Brandi followed her. According to the lawsuit, Brandi pushed Caroline against the door, causing her to hit her head. With the door locked, Brandi allegedly groped Caroline's vagina again, while Caroline cried out for help until another cast member opened the door. Caroline's suit emphasized that producers didn't just fail to stop the assault, they actively encouraged it. The lawsuit alleged that Bravo knew Brandi had a history of harassing behavior, but hired her anyway because it made good television. Producers allegedly kept giving Brandi alcohol to make her more likely to commit outrageous acts for ratings. The next day, Brandi texted Caroline saying, "I'm sorry I made you feel uncomfortable," but according to the lawsuit, producers still tried to force them together for more drama. They put Brandi at lunch with the group and on a camel ride with everyone. They wanted Caroline and Brandi to confront each other on camera. When Caroline refused and left Morocco, the season was effectively ruined. This lawsuit revealed something dark about how Bravo operates. Caroline alleged that the network deliberately gets cast members drunk, encourages inappropriate behavior, and films assaults without intervening because conflict equals ratings. The question became, where is Andy Cohen's responsibility in all this? As executive producer and the public face of the franchise, Andy sets the tone for how these shows are made. If producers truly were encouraging harassment and assault for better television, that culture came from the top. And the top was Andy Cohen. Brandi fought back against Caroline's narrative. Her attorneys sent their own legal letter claiming that Caroline was lying and feeding a defamatory story to the media. They insisted that Brandy and Caroline engaged in consensual, dirty dancing and playful touching throughout the night. They claimed Caroline never manifested a lack of consent. Brandy's lawyers demanded that Bravo release all footage from Morocco to prove her innocence. They accused the network of hiding evidence and trying to silence Brandy while protecting their own interests. They characterized Brandy as a sacrificial lamb who was being destroyed to save the network's reputation. By July 2024, Brandy revealed on social media that the stress from this situation had caused severe health problems. She was diagnosed with stress-induced angioedema, a condition where her face would swell up so badly she couldn't talk or taste food. She blamed the false allegations and Bravo's handling of the situation for her medical issues. In October 2024, Brandy posted that her lawyers had quit her case. She was left without legal representation in the middle of a massive fight with a billion-dollar corporation. The situation had deteriorated so badly that even her own attorneys apparently didn't want to continue. April 2022. NeNe Leakes, one of the original Real Housewives of Atlanta stars, and arguably the biggest name to ever come out of the franchise, sued Bravo and Andy Cohen for fostering a racist and hostile work environment. NeNe's lawsuit alleged that she endured years of racism while working on RHOA. She claimed that both Bravo executives and Andy Cohen tolerated racist behavior from other cast members and failed to protect her. The suit suggested that NeNe faced different treatment and standards than her white counterparts on other franchises. This lawsuit was particularly damaging because NeNe wasn't some minor player. She was the breakout star who made RHOA the success it became. She had her own Bravo show, multiple spin-offs, and was beloved by millions. If NeNe felt discriminated against, what did that say about how Bravo treated Black talent? The case also raised questions about pay equity. Did Black housewives on Atlanta get paid the same as white housewives on Beverly Hills or New York for the same level of fame and audience draw? Were standards applied differently based on race? These were uncomfortable questions Bravo didn't want to answer in court. NeNe Leakes eventually dropped the lawsuit in 2024, but the damage to Andy's reputation lingered. She had publicly called out the racism in his empire, and those allegations didn't disappear just because the case was withdrawn. In April 2024, Faith Stowers filed a lawsuit against Bravo for racism and physical assault. Faith had appeared on Vanderpump Rules, but was fired in 2018 after being blamed by her co-stars for a crime she didn't commit. According to Faith's lawsuit, she was threatened with legal action if she spoke out about her treatment. She alleged that the network allowed racist behavior to continue unchecked and created an environment where she felt unsafe. This lawsuit added to the growing narrative that Bravo had serious systemic problems with how it treated cast members, particularly women of color. Faith's case was still active as of 2024, meaning Andy and the network continued facing legal pressure on multiple fronts. While Bethany Frankel didn't file an actual lawsuit, her threatened legal action in August 2023 created a reality TV reckoning that put tremendous pressure on Andy and Bravo. Bethany's lawyer Brian Friedman sent a blistering letter outlining all the ways Bravo allegedly abuses its cast members. The letter accused Bravo of deliberately manufacturing mental instability by giving cast members alcohol while depriving them of food and sleep. It claimed the network denied mental health treatment to cast members, showing clear signs of deterioration. It alleged that Bravo exploited minors who appeared on shows without compensation. Most shocking, the letter accused Bravo of distributing non-consensual and covering up acts of violence. It claimed the network refused to let cast members leave their shows even under dire circumstances. These weren't minor complaints. These were serious allegations of abuse and exploitation. Bethany didn't just threaten legal action, she used her massive platform to rally other reality stars. She gave Rachel Leviss a platform after the Vanderpump Rules Scandoval drama. She encouraged cast members across reality TV to speak up about their treatment. She positioned herself as leading a movement to hold networks accountable. Andy had to watch as his former friend and one of his biggest success stories turned into his loudest critic. Bethany had made millions from opportunities Bravo gave her, but now she was using that wealth and influence to fight the network. The irony wasn't lost on anyone.